You got it? Okay. So he sends down the rates and skates.
You were almost late. Happy New Year. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Everybody have something to drink? Snack? It's 7 o'clock. So let's get started. Good crowd tonight. I think I've counted about 37. Five a good turnout. We put 42 chairs around the table, so if we need more, let us know. First on the agenda, Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for everybody coming out. First on our agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. See some new faces. Who else new? This is the first time here. Okay. What's your name? Ben. What area of the county? Yeah. And what's that your name?
My name is James Laker. I'm very new to this. I have no experience.
That's why we're here. I appreciate you coming. And
My wife said she'd kill me if I call her out, so this is why.
And I see a couple of people from other counties are here. Wake County. Yeah, you're a member. And we've got Terry. You came from Wilson County.
Oh, I'm a member.
Yeah, you're a member. Oh, yeah, you're members. Yeah. But you're from other
I'm
counties.
out of county, yes.
Thank you for coming the extra distance. So the next thing on our agenda is presentation by Ron on seasonal management, preparing for the spring. And it's already set up. I know Ron from, we were in the same fee school 2008, I guess. And he's gone the direction of commercial beekeepers. I don't know if I'll let him tell you how many hives he runs. He's a milk producer, queen producer. So when you move to Queens, he's a good resource. And, you know, if you need advice, he's great. And I know he helps a lot of people all over the county, but especially in this area.
Thank you, Al. It's so good to be here with you tonight. I'm always trying to learn new things. Here recently, I found out something that doesn't pertain to bees, but especially I'm trying to learn about bees. Do you know one of the most outstanding developers of this century was the erasable whiteboard? Yeah, I can't believe it is either. It's remarkable. Oh, I love this. Here it is. My question is, when does spring start for the beekeepers? Not for me. December 21st is when I start thinking about spring beginning and the bees starting to build up.
We didn't test that part. We didn't test that part.
Oh, I got to turn it on.
Listen. You hit space bar and I'll make it set. Ask you about it first. Oh.
But anyway, here in our growing zone, our bees began to think about building up for spring as the daylight begins to increase. So December 31st, December 21st is the equinox. So I start thinking about my spring build up. The red maple that as you ride down around the edge of those roads now, you're beginning to see those. You see bees bringing in different things. But start thinking about their bees survive. Go in there, a warm day, no activity at night. Is there have food? Do you have a large cluster that can sustain the cold weather that we've had here recently? We want to look at our objectives as we go into spring, as we develop our plan this time of year. Are we going to keep our hives for producing honey, or are we going to split them and increase our numbers this time of year? And if so, when are we going to do our splits, and how are we going to build up our cluster for the bees to produce honey? Did the bees survive, and how many frames of bees do we have in them? What kind of feeding are you going to do if you're going to build up your bee population for your honey production in spring? You see here already, I've taken a picture of that this spring. The red maples out there, and they're beginning to bring in pollen, even on a 44-degree day with no wind and the sun shining in the front entrance. So pollen coming in. Bees aren't supposed to fly that early. But in certain situations where the food's close by, they're warm enough, they can get the wings to make the flight there and back, they will bring in pollen. We'll see that. This week, we're going to have a good couple of days, warm days that they can bring in the pollen. And that signals to start building up our brood. You have to decide whether you're going to feed dry sugar now, or you're going to feed liquid, and what solution are you use to build up your population. You know, I always hear in the fall, don't feed thin cereal. But when we start getting warmer days, I think that we can start using a thinner cereal to build up the population. And they need that when you set your time and go back 21 days or a month, when you want to get to that population building up at that point, then you need to start feeding them. Things to look at with your hive. Are they in the sun? Are they getting sunlight in the front? I have some that turn to the northeast, some to the southeast, and the ones in the southeast will always fly fast, quicker during the day than the ones that are not. Do you have a lot of wind in your location? Do you have a wind break? That causes them not to use as much honey during the winter time as if you did to not have a wind break. Do you have neighbors in the area who have a lot of bees that will compete with yours to get the pollen and the nectar in the area, and also spread diseases? We're going to check for diseases early on. When are we going to check for diseases in the spring? What kind of diseases do we have in the spring? We need to look for those. Do you know what the diseases are in the spring? Do they have room to expand as we go into the season? We need to keep them in the smallest area as we can, so they don't have to control such a large area. If you have one deep box or a couple of mediums, and not have a whole stack of boxes in there for the bees to look at. They will do better and have more access to the food supply. How often do we check for bees in the springtime? A lot of people said don't open them up at below 50, 55 degrees. But a lot of times I will just tilt back and look in there and see about food supply, cluster size, what's going on in the hive. But don't be pulling out a lot of eggs and larvae of the brood during that period of time, because they will chill. But you can always check your cluster by looking in there. Do a frame count. How many bees do I have in there? Start thinking about, will I need to equalize my bees apart some point of swarm? And here, activities. What activities can we participate in the spring as we develop our beekeeping skills? Of course, we're going to have a school here. We're going to have apiary days at apiary. You can always learn something from someone here for other apiaries when you go in and observe other people. I say there's no mandatory way to keep bees for every single person. You have to develop your own technique, the science and art, I guess, keep beekeeping. Your equipment. How many have been working on getting their equipment? Cleaning them up. Yeah, that's the important thing to do this time of year. When they start swarming, you don't have time. You've got to go ahead and get it done now. You don't have to go into the bees at all right now, but get that equipment ready, cleaned up, new foundation and frames, whatever you need to do with that. And of course, this is showing them being frozen. You can get them out of the freezer now and probably start getting them cleaned up and ready. Ask if you find a warm day, you go in your hive a little bit, you find wax moths that have been on the edge, you probably know that your hive is getting a little bit weak or something, but wax moths are not going to kill your hive. They don't kill it. They're just a symptom of what's going on with that colony. They're either weak, grow up, cause disease, and they were not able to keep the moths out, or that there's way too much equipment on there for them to protect it. We're looking at swarms, not right now, but down the road. It's not far away. February, with any warm weather and this food supply coming in, you're going to start seeing some of your larger colonies really building up a drone population between frames and so forth. So go ahead and get your swarm boxes out by the end of February, I'd say, because last year they came early, and I think again this year with some warmer weather that we'll also see that we'll have a early swarm season. And that's another thing, when you look in there, if you've got one that's busting out seams, think about equalizing them, put in a frame of calf brood into the weaker ones and just slowing down those really, really large ones that's going to be at jeopardy of starvation if you go through several cold days, like 4 or 5 days. Because when you really start building up brood, and the honey's in there, and then they'll hand them out. Whatever they're bringing in, they're brood with. So you get 4 or 5 a week of cold, rainy weather, even cause that high. The largest ones are the ones that we lose like that. Right. Think about preventing swarms by rotating, or another thing is move all your cluster into the bottom box if they're split. Don't take your bottom box and flip it up and leave a big space between the brood. That's a way to chill some, and they may not combine back together. So try to get them all in the bottom box, or be sure that they're still touching one another if you rotate your boxes. Swarm control, we need to get the supers off and then start looking at when we can put some boxes back on for early honey coming in. Sure.
Please.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you want the one with the big stack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the big stack?
Yeah.
How are you going to feed when you're developing your bee population? And do you want to build up so you have strong hives? This showed pollen patty or sugar patty to use to start building up. In my case, I want to start middle of February. I want to start building up my population. So I'll be putting on sugar patties, and then shortly after that, pollen patties, and giving them some liquid food to build up my population so I can get those nukes out to people who order them. Okay, spring is a great time to think about what kind of treatment we're going to use for varroa. That dreaded word, varroa. You want to come out of winter with as low a population of varroa as you can, because your bees are building up, and not so are the varroa. You get 1.5 to 2 varroa coming out each time that you get a cycle of bees. So if you have 1, and then next week you have 3, and the next week you have 6. So we want to come out of spring with as low a population as possible. And you have more options in the spring of what you can use. Your temperature range and your honey supers are not on, so you have a much better selection of chemicals or varroa treatments that you can use. Also, it's not as expensive if you have 1 box rather than 2 boxes that's already built up. You don't need many strips or other things that you might choose to put in your hive to treat. So spring is a wonderful time to get them down. Here we see bee coming out. Are they diseased? Probably not to begin with in spring, but we always want to check to be sure that bees are healthy as they are hatching from the hive. You go in, you put one day, you pull out the frame, you want the bag wet for food supply around the upper edge, honey, or on the outer edge. your pollen strip, your open, your eggs, larvae, brood, are they all healthy? Do they look good? Do you have drones in between the frames? That's an indication of you're beginning to go into swarm season. When you start getting drone brood between your frames. Also, when you pull them out, look at the drone brood immediately. You have roll-up that you can see running around under those cells, in those cells, as you open it up. If you do, then you know you're going to more than likely have some kind of roll-up problem during the season. Of course, the drones are males, and when you start seeing those, you can really start looking for swarms and 2 to 3 weeks later, because the males need the time to develop before they can mate adequately with a virgin queen. So when you start seeing drones on wing, then you can start suspecting that there's going to be some swarms out there, or that you can even start maybe cautiously dividing some hives and developing some queens. There's a lot of different methods where you don't have to graft for making queens. So small beekeepers investigate that. Find a way that works for you to make an extra queen or two without having to graft. It is possible. Here last summer, I had a young intern from the state. She was out helping. She was learning to graft queens. And when do you want to do that? When do you want to have her? Commercial people do it very early, and sometimes the queens are not mated adequately. So later on in April would probably get better success with mating with your queens, because we'll have a better drone population. But the first queens that come from commercial operators a lot of times are not adequately mated. So that's one reason we may have problems with the queens. Got our equipment going, ready to go. We've got our swarm boxes up. We're ready to feed. We're ready to evaluate our feeds for swarms. If you have weak hives, you can always take those, and if they're not diseased, if they're just small cluster, and queen not adequate laying, then you can add those above colony and combine them. Yes.
When you find that hive, when was it due?
I'm sorry.
When was it due?
Okay, newspapers so that it will combine slowly. It will chew through the paper and go down into they'll smell each other and not all of a sudden combine and find. Okay, some of you will probably be ordering some packages from Al or other places. Feeding for packages, these are very important if you don't have drone comb. Drone comb is very, very valuable to a beekeeper, because a lot less honey, sugar water, whatever is needed to develop that. But if you get those packages, feed until they get the brood box drone out. You really need to feed them thin, probably thin syrup is better, and be sure they continuously bring in pollen, which we normally in North Carolina, our area, we don't have a problem with pollen coming in, except maybe mid-summer, less there. If you're going to buy nukes, of course, you're going to get drone comb, you're going to get bees, you're going to all stages. Whereas with a package, you get unrelated bees, unrelated queen. They've got to form a cohesive unit to start growing out comb and laying eggs and developing brood. And sometimes they don't accept the queen because of several reasons. But with a nuke, you do get a little head start in situations, but you have some drone comb, you have some food in there, and they are a unit, mother and her daughters. Feeding, again, we think that, spring and build up until you get to the point where you're going to accomplish what you want. They're big enough to start bringing in the main honey flow, which I think mine starts in April, and I get starting mine April, May, a little bit of June, but you want to be prepared. You want large colonies, lots of bees, but not swarming when you get to the main honey. Remove some of your old frames at that time, because you're going to be able to get more drone in spring, more of your foundation drawn out. So if you have some old frames that are bad or damaged, go ahead and remove those and insert your foundations, either wood with wax or plastic foundation. And please, if you get plastic foundation, get you some wax from someone and go ahead and put a solid, big coat of wax on it. Even if they say it's double wax, if you put more wax on it, the bees will draw it and it'll be beneficial to your hive for drawing out the wax foundation. Of course, we have an adequate supply of pollen here normally, even in January from when they're able to fly. So pollen pad is not always necessary in our area. Sometimes it's a waste of money, but it will help them build up faster, especially days they can't get out and forage. See here, bees sharing their food. They feed one another, but also they'll giving signals of what if there's nectar out there, how good the nectar source is, how much sugar content, and so forth with that. Check your landing boards when you go out. Always observe your landing boards to see what's going on. See bees coming in, see the one here to the left, second bee to the left has pollen on their legs. And learn the pollen sources you have on the season is important to the beekeeper. Because we start getting red maple and willow and other things. And also, I don't know about you, but I cry when I see farmers going out to the fields and there's purple flowers out, weeds out in the field, and they start destroying those. That's always a good source of food for the bees. So, glad the farmers out there farming, but I hate to see them tear up that source of but learning the sources you have is important. Make notes of them so you know what's going to happen when. Here, you can find your queen evaluate, laying good, got good patterns. You have any drone brood spotted out in amongst your worker cells. If you do, then you need to start thinking about replacing that queen. That's one of the signs that you may be running out of sperm to be able to continue the hive productivity. And then we'll hope for everything to go right, that we've done everything right, and that we're going to prevent swarms. We're going to collect that bumper crop of honey, and our bees are not going to be dying of disease or other things at the time we get to a dearth in summer. Okay. Like, you need to get your equipment up now for swarms. Better not to put them right in your acre area, but it does work there just as well. Bees probably won't like to stay right in the area with the others because of competition, but 100 yards, 200 yards away, quarter mile away would probably be better. We did catch one in the acre area this year from ours in the swarm box down here. And then be ready with your equipment. Don't wait till you get called for a swarm. Have your equipment ready. Get your cardboard box, anything, and put it, fold it up, put it behind the seat of your truck, in your car, or something, and have it with you. So if you get a call, you don't have to go home. Because bees swarms don't always stay in the same spot. They may have chosen a home already and just landed and rested. And you wait 2 hours, and they may be gone. So have your equipment with you. You don't have to have frames, you have to have all of this other stuff, but have a box that you can shape and close them up, get them off. Then you can get them into a hive if you need to. Make do with what you have. If you don't have it, stop at a store and get a box. You can always do that as well. Queen colors for yearly, this is the international color scheme, so if you don't know this, this is indicate what year they were born. And I always try to remember, will you raise good bees? That's just the way I've heard it and try to remember that. I could never find a chart that would do that, but I can't remember that little thing. Gotcha. Super's ready to go, so the bees will build up and you're ready to start putting a box on. We build up our honey supers, how you want to super. You need to decide. Your bottom super, top super, do you have a frame foundation that you're going to use, or do you want to have to use foundation? Home or foundation. But anyway, any questions you have that I can answer, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Is there a difference in building up your hive to split versus building up your hive? Like how you would put feed on there or anything like that?
No, basically the same, but if everyone that goes for honey, you don't want to split it.
Right.
You don't want to split them in half. I found taking a new off is okay. I can still build them back up and continue to feed them, and they'll still make the honey pop if you start from March. April, May, and the June is out. But you don't want to split them in half if you're going to make honey pop. Anything else? That's my information. If you have questions, comments, if I can help you anyway, please let me know. I know several in here, I've been to their home and checked the fees with them, but yeah, I need to help somebody, because you can tell I'm getting a little older now, help somebody come on that's a younger generation to raise these and this. But I did stop moving bees for pollination. I did some pollination in Wilson for several years, but I don't want to move the bees anymore, so pretty much put them in one location, and that's where they're at. I'm trying to sell nukes and honey now and things like that. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we're going to go through the announcements, just so everybody is aware and if you have any questions about our B school set for February 24th. Yes. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Farm report. What's that?
I do that every time too.
It's my bifocals, I think.
So there's a
line
pretty
there.
short farm report, in case anyone missed it. It's really freaking cold outside. So there's not a whole lot happening right now. Right now we're in the midst of beeting season. So if you're looking for any of our hardworking growers out there, you more than likely find them here. Just a quick note that on February 15th, if you ordered fruit and nut trees through our fruit and nut tree sale, that's when the pickup for those is. You should be receiving an email here in the next over the next couple days regarding, some information about how to plant those and how to care for them. So that's really all I've got to say tonight. So like I said, I'll keep it short and let y'all keep moving.
You mentioned the fruit. Nuts.
Oh, that on the agenda?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's not part of my agenda, but hopefully you did order some. I ordered some in 2012. Everything's turned out great ever since then. And I even ordered another Japanese persimmon last year, year 23, and it's done great. It usually bears in the third year. So On our announcements, we have a bee school coming up February 24th. And if you have any friends that want to get into beekeeping, it's a beginner class. It's a one-day class. They can sign up online and bring family. They get discounts for the second and additional. It also gives, the price gives you membership to our club for 1 year. So I encourage people to take that class. It's really difficult to just jump into a topic of our hobby and not really be prepared. So the next one is that we're giving the Certified Beekeepers test March 21st, right, at JCC. And I guess sort of a verbal agreement that if there's seats available, any of our members who want to get certified, you're welcome to show up 7 o'clock on that day at, it's called the Arboretum. It's the Arboretum, it's at JCC.
And if you're looking for swarm, just keep driving by the Arboretum. Just look at the trees.
Oh.
I ain't there.
Oh, okay. So if we get swarm calls from up there, it's probably from.
Can we go ahead and put a swarm trap up there?
You might as well, somebody might as well put one, because, first season, the first class, in the evening inspection, the girl says, look, there's bees in the tree.
Well, it is January 22nd. And I'll say last year I had a swarm on January 30th. So it's getting that time. Hey,
Still going to be able to certify people from the BR. Versus only certified, journeyman or whatever. And then what happens to that certificate?
they need to take the written first.
Okay. What does it take?
Yeah, and that's the state sort of tries to tell us how to do it. So it's sort of consistency.
They need to be part of the state.
They need to be part of that. Yeah, because I need that number. And what I do is I type the grade into their system with the number. And then when I get the field exam, I match it up and say submit, and their person takes it. And what I've been hearing is usually within a week, we submit it. I feel like through the week, people submit it, and then once a week, they check and see if there's any. I got that. Okay. I'll go ahead and announce that. Let's see. What are the dates? 6th, 7th, 8th, 7th, 8th, 7th, 8th, March 7th, 8th, and 9th. The state is having their meeting in Newburgh. And from Forums, usually when I go down there, I get up like I work in Durham, so whenever I was driving up there, I get up at 5:30, leave by 6. So I was driving down to Newburgh. It's pretty much the same trip. I could be there by about 7:30. Then I drive back. It's an hour and a half drive to Forums. 70 is not bad to drive. You're a little further in Durham. Okay, I don't stay overnight. I have commitments in Forums every night, so.
Where can we find more information on how much it costs?
On the NCSBA, North Carolina Beekeepers.org.
The cost of the convention is not that much. Cost of anything is gonna be the cost of a room.
And if you're
Always more expensive, I think the convention's only like $8, $85.
if you're a member, if you're not a member, they include another $15 to pay for it. And if you've ever been a member and then you work for a few years and rejoin, you need to. They can look your old number up. Newburn's always a good place to go. I like that. And then Pinehurst, I think, in the summer. I went when they were last in Pinehurst, it was great. And we did stay the night then. So, and we're gonna start including our bank balance for members. Currently, we have $9,584.71, which you can read down here handout, but that way there's transparency with the money. Club speaking opportunities. We've had some requests, and we even got one more tonight. So it's not on here. If any of y'all are interested in speaking, Watkins Chapel Baptist Church needs somebody. There's a third grade class wanting a speaker for March 7th. Just let either me or John know.
The Watkins Church, they got 40 to 50 kids, they're gonna want to do two groups, younger kids and older kids. And then after that, we do the additional speaking, about 45 minutes, for each group. They would like to possibly later on this April. And I talked to Chris Long at 5 counties, to see if they might be willing to fill this out and use their acreage. This church is right between Zebulon and Middlesex. So it's almost the top of your acreage versus coming all the way down here to our acreage. So see if we can work something out, maybe do something jointly.
Okay.
And it's an opportunity if you do that, and then maybe go and meet some people in 5 counties. They got a nice acreage.
So really, where it says please see Al or John, it's really see John. I told him, oh, see John if you're interested in doing any of these opportunities. We're sort of splitting the president job. He's doing out of meeting stuff and I'm more in meeting. So let's see. And as soon as I figure out what that email was about the third opportunity, we'll let people know.
I think it's the same day as this other third grade class.
Okay.
I think it's a different third grade class.
Okay, March 7th. So also, I don't know how many people are certified right now. I mean, I don't put a C on your faces and all that. So once you're certified to go to the next level, if you're interested, become journeyman. Like Ron did tonight, a presentation. You can do a presentation and get used to speaking. And it takes a certain number of credits to get to the journeyman level. Plus, you got to take a test. So if anybody's interested, yes, you can email any of the board members and we can get it to Terry Richards. She was sick tonight, or no, her husband was sick tonight. So she wasn't able to make it. So she's our presentation director. Okay, so for February, we've got Anya McGurk from 5 County. And she's gonna come talk about hive monitoring, covering some facts that she's learned from that. She's a retired scientist from SAS, and she has interesting graphs for monitoring of the program. So data, just numbers really isn't exciting. It's whenever you throw it into a graph and you see a trend, you can see trends or something. So that sounds like the type of person she is. March, we're currently still working on. For April, we're gonna have, like we did last year for April, we'll have a panel of experts for question and answers. It's kind of focused on questions new beekeepers would ask. So, I mean, even if you've kept bees for 5 years, you may still have questions. So if you can plan to attend, that's great. Okay, ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack, Bill told me that here before, and then I'll give you a picture. Okay?
Okay. Where's the, oh, there you are.
For the year, the board really not much more being that.
Really not much to report for the area right now. The last one has been pretty cold, so we haven't been able to get into any hives, but in the beginning of December, we did the final oxalic acid treatment. Made sure that all the hives had sugar and weighed all the hives, and Rick was kind enough to go out this morning and weigh all the hives again. And there were only two of concern, number 6 and number 11. The weight's gone down a little bit, and there was no sign of activity, but it was 40 degrees, so we were able to go in and check them today. But other than that, all the hives have, I think, we're maintaining a good weight and still has signs of activity. And if the weather's good Thursday, we're going to try to get in and do a quick inspection.
You mean this, Rick?
I will say, y'all can hear me out, be loud. At Louisville, the North American Honeybee Expo, January 4th and 6th, it's a 2.5-day event put on by Cameron Reynolds, out of Tennessee. It was large, I'm gonna tell you. They had 3,200 tickets available to sell. They sold them all. There were about 4,000 people there, the speakers, the vendors, the support staff. The vendor field, the folks selling, they had stuff from everybody, everywhere from new beekeepers, right on up to big industrial stuff, and in between, they had 92,000 square feet of vendor space. They had over 130 vendors in there. They said all 50 states were represented, and every continent, with the exception of Antarctica, had somebody there. Met some really nice folks. Tried my hand for the first time at a clean show. That was not the one to do. There were 1,161 exhibits. So, 242 for the black jar contest alone. They only gave one first place for black jar. So as far as I'm concerned, I took second place. We had some very good speakers there. Dr. Larry Palmer, he talked about sustainable apiary. To be quite honest, what you just heard from Ron was very close to what he talked about. Keeping on top of things, planning ahead. Dr. Megan Maurer, she gave a good talk on drone home is gold. Why the importance of keeping calm, having all that available. One thing she said that I never don't know, I probably heard it, but she said never more than double your hives when you do splits in a year. Because if you do more than that, you're going to lose a lot of calm. And Dave Burns, Big Squad, a lot of folks might have seen him on YouTube. He had a good talk. One thing that he said that I took away from was a bee. It shortens the lifespan. It goes out, it goes connected, it brings it back to the hive. It never realizes the efforts of its work because that nectar is not honey when that bee dies. And as beekeepers, we need to be working together for the hive, for the future of beekeeping, keeping folks interested and helping those folks, even though we may not see our efforts in that time. Folks like Bob Beanie were there, Kevin Reynolds, Jeff Warkoff, Mr. Ed. That fellow, he is full of life. He was all the time walking around that and joking. There was one new product, this Apis Ollis, they were out of France. Anybody familiar with the new trend of vaping instead of smoking cigarettes? they had a vaping smoke. Charge it up, you put fluid in, a little bit expensive, but you don't have fire. There was another big product brought out, Simple Cone. That's another way of making calm honey. And then there was a company called Easy Ox, or a product called Easy Ox was unveiled. The cool thing about that is it's 1 gram tablets, pre-measured, acylic acid for folks that use the one. You don't have to measure, you don't have to worry about spilling powder and all that kind of stuff. You just drop the pellet on there and stick it in. Greg Rogers talking about acylic acid extended release here in North Carolina, from North Carolina. One of the things that took away from that was he talked about rubbing up the inside of the hives so that the bees form propolis envelope in there. There was a company, I don't recall the name, that was actually selling hive bottoms rubbing. To me, it looked like somebody just taking the hive, hit it with a sandblast or so. But it makes sense because they said it cuts down on disease. So there was 500 gallons of coffee drink, provided that free every day. There was 50 gallons of half and half. And there was enough honey there to make everybody brought money for the cost. If you're looking at a deal, that would have been the place to go. Some of it, but don't take your wife and live in this money.
That's the way you do, let the inside the house. Let the inside the house.
That could be done as well. Like I said, I was just looking at what, and they had a tree that they cut and opened up, and you could see the way the trees were up on the inside. The bees were fertilizing, and it created that envelope of antibacterial. Like I said, it may be something someone wants to try. It does. I mean, yes, I think. I said there was all kinds of.
You said the new product, UVO, unhealthy food odor?
I saw it, I didn't, the line to listen to them was very, long. They had 3 talks, like, in there going on at any one time. So you couldn't only attend one thing. They only had a certain number of chairs, so you couldn't even get in there. Sometimes it was standing room only. And so I did miss a lot of stuff. But one of the advantages of taking on the ticket is they're going to send me all of that stuff on video. And so we'll look through and see what we can find on that. Because I believe there was a talk on that as well, on that policy. There is a call for next year, it may be in Oklahoma, but I'm not sure. I'll do what I can get. As long as y'all keep quiet.
Thank you, Rudy.
Can I add to what he just said? If you don't, I really encourage everybody to go to these meetings around and about, because you'll meet people, you'll hear all kinds of things, you get to see things you wouldn't normally be able to hear. But there's other options too. And that was, yeah, on your 15-hour drive. 10. Well, like 10. Dr. Connor, Larry Connors, has been giving the same lecture. He gave it in Virginia in Farmville about a week or 2 ago on Saturday. It's a $65 conference, 1 day, including lunch and snacks in the morning and the afternoon. So that's 2.5 hour drive from here. I did it 1 day, came back home that night. It was a good conference. So there's things outside that you can look around for. He's also talking in Columbia end of February at the South Carolina Beekeepers Conference. That's 4 hour drive from me from Raleigh. They had the Heart of Virginia Beekeepers Conference was held in Farmville, Virginia. Yeah, it's gone, but they'll have it every year. That was the second one. And,
He has come from your life many times.
but,
I remember seeing it twice.
yeah, and, South Carolina conference is good. I've enjoyed it when I've been to. They put on a good show. And the, other thing that's happening, I think, in coming up the week before the North Carolina conference is the, they're gonna have a wine producing conference, it'll be the second one they've had in Wilkesboro. So they're interested in learning how to make mead and meet people to make mead and get to try some mead and it's, you're gonna see a lot of people that are doing it there that have been doing it for a while. They know what they're doing, they're gonna talk about it and do a lot of pointers on it. It's pretty easy to make. I mean, you kind of get it going and kick it under the stairs and check it out once in a while. But, it's nice to share. We can sell it later, but we can share it. But anyway,
You sold the bottle, whatever is in it.
but it's available. There's a lot of things going on for the plant. And to look at, explore around.
So, next topic is the Q&A. Did y'all read your Beekeepers Corner? It's on the back side of your agenda. Let me run through it right quick here, John.
Okay.
Did everybody get an agenda?
On the backside of the first page, Beekeepers Corner. As Ron said, this is the tough time of year where your bees either thrive or starve because of the temperatures. They can't get out and get pollen and get access to nectar, and they don't have enough stores or resources, or they can't get to it in the hot because of temperatures. That's when you're gonna lose your bees. This is the tough time of year to keep an eye on for die-outs. Basically, spring has sprung. Red maples were blooming a week ago Saturday at 4 Oaks. So, they're working now. They're bringing in lots of pollen. They're raising brood, they're bringing in pollen. So, as far as they're concerned, we're in spring. Temperatures can be quite variable. You might be able to do a few oxalic acid treatments between now and the end of the month, but I really think it's past the point where it's going to be much good. Just the amount of brood that's coming on. Ron talked about high inspection temperatures. If you have a die out or you've got dead bees blocking your entrance, then you got to go in and get it cleaned out fast, maybe with a towel over the brood area so that you can, not chill the bees. How many people here have IPM boards? Okay. You realize that you can check for mites with your IPM boards right now. Clean the IPM board, oil it, stick it back in there, wait 72 hours to count your mites. 30 is the limit. Maybe that's an advantage with IPM boards in there. Get your package bees ordered, your nukes, your replacement queens. Queens are going to be hard to get until probably April. May. Get your wood equipment ordered. If you're going to the meeting in New Bern, a lot of the vendors will bring it to you there. Or you can go buy out. We're going to have a build day on March 23rd. And You're welcome to bring your equipment out with the building and do it out back here. If there's an event in here, it'll be at the storage, our storage building. If not, we'll move it in the parking lot in front of the strict building out there. We'll make sure that you're there.
I have something to say about that. Last year, we only had like, what, 3 people? Please, if you have equipment you want to build, come on, it's good friend building exercise.
And if the board approves it, we're inviting 5 counties to this too, and they're basically. So we get to meet some people and get to help them. So, Drift Watch. I'm going to do your hikes on Drift Watch so that everybody knows where your hives are, so that they're spraying pesticides, they're aware of it. I think, Rick, you renewed our clubs. Let's see. Did you all see the bank balance? That wasn't announced. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I didn't. Let's see. I had 2 Christmas ornaments given to me. I don't do Christmas trees. I'm lazy. So if anybody's interested, 2 nice Christmas ornaments. First come, first served back. And I guess it's Phil next.
Yes. Well, I'll introduce Phil one time. He drives all the way down from Rockland. He's gathering up orders for stuff, and he's not making money on this. He's trying to get a bulk order so he can save money. So that's why we're kind of allowing. We try not to advertise just random things, but Phil's actually doing it at cost. So I'll let Phil talk. You need a microphone? Let me get a microphone.
Well, I feel like Georgia Queen genetics are sort of ubiquitous in the Southeast, and truthfully, my opinion is that we're terribly inbred with a lot of queens that are in the area, and I've trying to make a concerted effort to bring in genetics from other areas to improve more bee population. If you're like me, I know I lose bees all the time to swarms, and so I'm sure a lot of the feral bees that we're catching have the same genetics as well how they came from. So I'm just doing my best to try and get different genetics in here. So what I'm doing is I've been trying different queens from different places. One queen that I've been very pleased with is from a lady in Northern California. Her name is Jackie Parks Burris, and she produces a humongous queen. It's like golden yellow. You can spot it in my heartbeat. It doesn't need to be marked. It's a big queen, and I've had good results with hers. I've gotten good results locally from other producers like Ron, and another queen that I'm going to try this year is, y'all are familiar with Randy Oliver, who has a business called Scientific Beekeeping. He's releasing queens for the first time this year, and Ray Oliveras in California and Hawaii is going to produce from his breeder queens, going to produce daughter queens for sale this year for the first time. He's been on a chemical-free program with his bees, I think from about 2017. This will be the first release of queens that he has. So he's breeding for hygienics. Say it was another one. I can't remember what I'm doing now. Those are the 2 main ones that I was, the Jackie Parks Burris queens and Randy Oliver. So I'm not making any money on this. I'm just, the goal for me is that If I want one queen, it's still from California, it's gonna cost me $75 to ship it here, overnight there. So if I get 26 people to buy one, then it ends up going down to like $1 or something like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The more queens we order, the less the shipping gets. And I think we've got enough people potentially interested if, I'm gonna send something out here probably, tomorrow, that the cost of shipping, could be as little as $1 a queen. So these queens are gonna run in price from about $34.25 a piece plus $1 for shipping to maybe up to $37.75 plus maybe $1. That's what I'm saying. And so I'm probably have them delivered to my house in Raleigh. The only thing I ask is if you order queens, don't leave me trying to keep 100 piece of queens alive until you get around to them. That's all I'm asking.
You already know that the 3 days, because, I mean, I would hope they could do them all sooner.
Oliver is in Sacramento,
Yeah.
and they're having snowstorms go through right now.
So everything's gonna be weather dependent. They had a rough year last year. And it messed them up on getting things out. But my impression is they get their packages out first, and then they send their queens out. After that, I think probably the first potential date on getting queens from these people is gonna be about, the end of April. Weather permitting, and the sooner we get an order in. But I think, they've already got people put an order. Anyway, if you're interested, just get a hold of me.
Thank you, Phil.
I'd like Gary Wilson. Contest can go on.
Okay,
Is that possible? Is that probably? Good time. 806.
oh, we're not playing now.
So, Gary, here's some extra copies.
Yes, that was not, that's okay, this last Saturday, I'm gonna walk back this way. This last Saturday, I went to Sophia to, Bees Needs, because they were hosting it. And what I want to know by show of hands is how many's entered something, a bee product, into the county fair, into the state fair, into any type of contest like that. 1, 2, 3. That's it? 4. Okay. Okay, there's 5. Okay, all right. Did you win anything? All right, there's 2. Second place, yeah, John won, yes, by proxy. What this is the NCBS is trying to standardize these contests. And we're getting up with the American Honey Show, which is a Welsh derivative, to have standardized things. So you can look at this and say, oh, if I want to enter this, this is how I do it. Now, in March at the conference, we will have the NCSBA Artisan Show, okay, which is kind of an abbreviated one where we're looking at a lot of things, okay. In July, we will have a training, and that's what I would do. They will tell you, and I mean they're explicit on how, if you want to enter honey, how to get it to the point so you will win first place. No. And there may be times, it's like, we had a mini show when I went, okay? And there was one category, and I don't remember what it was a fifth place. There was no fourth, no third, no second, no first. Because they go down this list and they say it's a plus or a minus, is it there or not there, right? And so if you enter the county fair and you win first, and you take it to the state, you'll have a very good chance of placing first at the state, okay? Because I've seen some county fairs that there's 3 entries and they go first, second, and third place, okay? Were they first, second, and third place winners? Don't know. But, if you want to know how to enter anything, tell me. I think I learned, there was things that, I've been a beekeeper about 10 years, and it's like, you did that? One guy was talking about, he puts 4 jars in a cooler, rides around for at least a couple of weeks with his heater on. So all these little particles in the honey will filter up, okay? And he has won lots of first ribbons, yeah. So, got a couple of these. We talked about all sorts of things, how to polish your honey bars, okay? When you do a beeswax bar, how to polish it, how to weigh it, the other things that, you know, unless you're buddy with somebody that doesn't want a lot, you will have no idea. I mean, it blew me away. Okay, some of the things they did, I thought it was crazy. Okay, one guy filtered his honey 10 times. Okay, I don't know. So, but yeah, go to the March meeting. Even if you don't enter and the artisan one, go look at it. There are new categories that will, like, oh wow, because they've greatly expanded. And they're listed in this one, okay? So, go. Any questions? No? Okay. But go to the March meeting, go to the July meeting, take the training.
Can I don't know if people realize who Gary is here, the president of Wilson County, he's also the regional director for the state. You're the senior regional director for the Eastern North Carolina state. So.
Chris reminded me of something I learned many years ago about judging. And I was looking at putting meat in the American Meat Makers Society. In their contest, let's say there's 1,000 entries, 250 of them could be first place because they don't compete against each other. It's almost like you're in a class. Many people can make 98 or make an A on the test. Then there's B's and C's.
I'm not related, I really wish, I gotta understand, and I really wish that parent organization was like that. But you're not getting first, second, third, but you're getting like gold medal level,
Right.
silver medal level. I think Monty does that. You're gonna gold, silver, bronze, and there's not.
So I know what you're asking there. Because everybody should have their handout with the agenda. If you look on that, further back in it, we have a calendar. And as all of y'all know, it was a holiday last week, so while we're here this week. The people who didn't show up today, they might have forgot. Anyway. Or they got COVID. Oh, that camera's not on. We are zooming. So for February, apparently President's Day is not a holiday. So we'll be meeting on February 19th. Like I've already said, Anya McGurk will be here to cover the timeline and things she's learned from it. So let's see. Just go through this calendar. We put this calendar on every month. So if you see something you're interested in, like you want help with the master burner plant sale on April 13th. There's an opportunity. Look through here, see if there's things you would like to help the club with. Because over the evolution of this club, there's been a handful of people, handful being like 10 people, 10 or 12, who have kind of done a lot of the stuff. And we do understand if you have kids, you have to give them baseball and all that. We understand that totally. But we also understand that it helps you learn to speak. So as kids grow older, you get time, come out. It's always appreciated. I've always said there's never too many volunteers at a place. So, and if, let's say we had too many for Ham, we could break it into 2-hour shifts instead of maybe 4-hour shifts. We can break it down so that everybody gets to participate. So it's your club. We'd like to see people participate and kind of guide the direction that we take the club with. Like John said, the calendar will be attached with every agenda. So every month. But this is yours, take home, look at your calendar, what you've got planned through the year, and maybe you're free one of the times. So, does anybody have anything?
Well, I'll make a point about Beekeepers Corner and this calendar. These are punched, so if you would take Beekeepers Corner and put it in the notebook, and then you get into January next year or February next year, you want to look at what you're going to be doing. It's going to be right there. It's not going to change the whole lot. If I do that, so you can hold on to it. The calendar, I revised, and you'll see Rev 1, Rev 0, Rev 2. Every time there's a revision or an update, you'll be Rev. And does anybody want more information on the calendar? I mean, I get very little feedback from what I do, so I sometimes go unguided or misguided. Make the case.
Everybody's happy with it?
We get it to the media. I think you got one in your email on Sunday.
So, Seth, do we need to put the tables up? Okay. So we need to put the tables up, but if that's everything, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting. And people can help those who can, put the tables up, chairs. So we appreciate it.
And any housekeeper, see something, trash,
Thank you.